everybody, welcome to Cat Stitch. It is very late on Saturday the 5th of November, nearly the 6th of November, and it was going to be recorded earlier, but because of the fireworks going off, Bobby got all my attention, so it's a little later in the evening than I'd planned, but I had everything in here, so I'm just going to go with it. For those that are new to my channel, oh yeah, brain's working. For those that are new to my channel, thank you very much for stopping on by. Not the most organised usually. Well, sometimes I am. It sort of depends on what it is. And I do sometimes go off tangent, just so you know, but I'm trying to get better at that. This is Flosstube number 22. And for those that have come back and have watched all of my Flosstubes, crazy person, just letting you know. I'm trying to remember the camera down that end. Okay. So thank you guys very much for coming back and supporting me. Thanks also to those that have reached out to me while I've been sick and just checking in and stuff like that. Nara, thank you, darling. Yeah, so it's been an interesting, few weeks. Obviously, this is my first full week, full time back at work. So very exhausting. So I haven't really been focusing too much at night with stitching. But because I was doing the Witchy Stitchy 2022 challenge, where you have to stitch 30 minutes a night, I at least stitched 30 minutes a night. So so I was happy with that, and I did manage to finish in October. I think it was like 15 projects in October. I have now reached 100 finishes for 2022, so I've doubled what my original target was. Admittedly, a lot of them are quite small, and I sort of think, oh, so not many stitches, but just in the last week when I've been doing another challenge and you have to give the stitch count, I've been having to count how many stitches I've done. And in these little small Christmas ornaments, there are still like 700-800 stitches in each one of them. So there's still a lot of stitches, regardless of anything else. Any other news? So as I usually record fortnightly, next fortnight will be fine. The one after that, I'm not sure if it's going to be late or if it's going to be a different week or something like that, because I'm going to work from my daughter's house for 2 weeks because our bathroom is getting replaced, and apparently it takes up to 2 weeks. I don't mind getting a new bathroom. and so yeah, so I'll be staying up at my daughter's. So I don't know if I'll get the opportunity to record, but the good news is that I'll finally have the opportunity to sit down with my granddaughter and teach her the basics of cross stitch before she goes over to her dad's for the Christmas holidays. So what am I doing? So I've got a few new starts. I've got a little bit of progress on some whips, and I have got a few finishes. So let's get into this, shall we? Because it's already been, what, 3 minutes? Okay, that's enough babble. Right, now this one, actually we'll do them in order. Okay, so this is Tudor Ermine by the Blue Flower. Where's my board? And this is what it looks like. As usual, stitching from stash, and I'm stitching it on the 14 count marble instead of the rustico, antique marble. And so I'm stitching the colours from stash, so I've just grabbed the colours that I like from stash, and that's what I'm using, so that's where I'm up to. I'm going to have to do some back stitch around the ermine. Hopefully the light is good enough, guys. Sorry about this. Because the white is blending in just a smidgen too much for me. It's very ghosty. I don't want a ghosty ermine. So I'll be doing a light grey back stitch around that, because it does have another colour on it. So I might even use the other colour on it as well. I don't know. I'll just see what happens when I get to the end. But that's where I'm up to so far. So that was in one session, because I just started it and I just couldn't stop working on it. It was fun. A really fun stitch. So wonderful design. I love that one. And it was very hard for me not to keep picking it up and just finishing it, but I had my other projects I really wanted to work on, so no. The next one was not on my list at all to start. It was not even on my list to buy. But Nicole from North Island Stitcher sent me a link. She sent me a picture. And I said, oh, what's that one? Then she sent me the link. I went and bought it and I started it that night, same as her. So we both started it, but she's starting from the bottom and I'm starting from the top. So that's what it is. It's a very cool house. And I'm stitching it on Spooky Hollow by Live and Die in LA. And that's where I'm up to so far. So there we go. Most of the colours are correct. I've got most of them, but there are a few I don't have. So I will be switching those out when I see where they need to go. But it's quite cool. So I've started at the top. And that's... I think it's 16%. I'm at 16%. And I think Nicole must be about 30 something, I think. Because she's done a heap down the bottom. And then on the Halloween, this was a planned one for the 1st of November. The Halloween challenge page, cross-stitch page, run by Anna. This month it is the Nevermore Stitch Along. And basically you can choose any design that is related to Edgar Allan Poe, Nevermore, ravens, crows, and that sort of thing. Okay, so I've chosen to do Harvest Delivery by Plum Street Samplers. I've had this design for a while, but because I wasn't working on bigger projects, I never got around to doing it, so now I'm doing it. So I started this on the 1st. That's where I'm up to now. So I've nearly finished the bird. And then I just need to fill in the sign at the top, and then I'll be on to page 2. So that's pretty good. That's just this week. Yes, I started it on Tuesday. Worked on it Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday? Yeah. Those were the days that I worked on it. So that's why it's still in the frame, because it's staying in my keep picking up box. So on to our whips, because those are all the new starts. Even though I wasn't supposed to be starting a whole bunch of things unless they were Christmas ornaments, but there you go. So this is by Wild Violet. It's called Hocus Pocus, and this is where I was up to last time. So I'd pretty much just got the top of the roof, the top part of the building done. So now, I think I'm about 46%, I think it is. Here we are now. And this is getting stitched on 14 count Spooky Mansion by Live and Die in LA. It's getting stitched with black etoile. So all the black is black etoile. So all I have left for the black is there's a gap there that the smoke comes up. And then there's the black down here. And then the words Hocus Pocus across the bottom. So I'm just doing all the black first, and then I get to do all the filling in. That's where I'm up to. So I'm happy with progress on that one. That's not doing too bad. I pulled out Miss Ladybird by Nora Corbett this fortnight. I mean, I didn't get too much more on it, but I did get some. So this is where I was before. And this is where I'm up to now. Sorry, nothing's ironed, guys. Sorry about that. So I finished all of this side down here. I've just got a little bit more to fill in that part there, and then so I started coming back round. So I'm pleased with her progress. She's getting there, and she will be done before the end of the year. So that's just this month. A lot of things are sort of getting put aside for me to get the Christmas ornaments and everything like that done. And then December will be me finishing a lot of these projects that I wanted to finish before the end of the year. Next is Black Cat Inn by Sub Rosa, and I'm stitching it on 25 count even weave, just the ivory, stitching 1/1 using Weeks Dye Works Onyx is the black. I'm only doing one thread at a time, because it gets a little hard on my eyes sometimes. Some days are better than others. Others I can't even do one strand, so I don't pick it up. But yeah, so the one strand that I did was the house, as you can see. So we've got the around the windows filled in now. Very tiny, very tiny stitching. I was actually struggling about halfway through to finish the thread, and I sort of thinking, oh look, just forget it, but I pushed through and got it done. So she's getting there, a little bit at a time, one stitch at a time. She will be done. I don't know if she'll be done by the end of the year, but she will be done early next year if she's not. I sort of figure, you know, 1 or 2 threads a fortnight. I only did one thread this fortnight though. And the last whip is one I've made a bit of a boo-boo on. And of all ones to make a boo-boo on is my stitch along. The one I'm hosting, Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street Samplers. This is where I was up to. And I've made a boo-boo on the house. So I put it in the naughty box because I was so furious with myself. I didn't want to, you know, make any decisions or mistakes while I was annoyed. So I will pull it back out this fortnight, fix the issue, or fudge it in a way that I'm happy with, and I'll have it finished for next time. So that's where I was, and here I am now. So it is literally just a house to fill in, but I've messed up the roof, so that might have to get pulled out, because the windows are slightly in the wrong place too. So I've got to, yeah, there's a couple of things I need to fix, but I might be just happy having a wonky house, you know. We'll see. That's where we are now. Bobby, that stunk. I love my dog, but boy. Okay. So that's Cinnamon Stars. And then onto our finishes. We've got a few. We've got a couple. So the first one from last week is probably my favourite finish this year, or one of my favourite finishes this year. Indigo Lane by With Thy Needle and Thread. As you can see, this is where I was up to last time. So I just finished the house and I still had the other page to do. And I was stitching from stash, and this is getting stitched on Woodland Sprite by Jody Ree Designs. And here it is finished. I should have ironed this one so you don't have the crease in it, but there we go. And I love it. I just think, I love how that blue pops. I've got a little bit of turquoise in there as well, because I love turquoise too. But they are all stitched from stash. So, yeah, the colours don't exactly match the picture, but that's okay. They weren't meant to. Well, not for me anyway. So yeah, so that's that one. So really happy with that. The other one, the other larger one that I finished is by Plum Street Samplers, Count Twice. And last time, I again was about halfway through, and I pulled this one out after I finished that one, because I was quite enjoying being, you know, sort of almost monogamous for stitching on a larger project last week. I think my focus getting ready for work just gave me the, I just want to focus on one thing, not a whole bunch of them. And that's where I was when I picked it back up. And here it is finished. So this is stitched on 14 Count Nice by Live and Die in LA. So really happy with that. Again, stitching from stash, so I just picked my own colours from what I had that were similar to the colour tones in the design. And I made a couple of mistakes in it. Yes, I didn't count. Well, I did count, I just obviously don't know how to count, or it might have been one of those days where I was having a real struggle focusing and I miscounted how many squares. And I do count like 3 times, but occasionally I still mess it up. But that's okay, I'm fine with that. It worked nicely. And then the Christmas ornament ones that I've done for my daughter. well, that I've done to turn into ornaments. One of them may get sent away as part of the Christmas ornament exchange. I'm just going to keep on stitching a few more ornaments, and then when I've finished making them, I'll decide which one is going to get sent away for the exchange, because I've still got a few weeks. So they all come from Just Cross Stitch ornament magazines, or the November-December magazine. If you want to know which year, just leave a note below and I'll look up and I'll note it down for you. So this is the first one. It's stitched on the 14 count opal, I think it's Jungle Vine. It was a limited edition one this year, by Jodie Ree. Again, stitching from stash. With the Christmas ornaments, I've actually picked out a selection of colours and I've put them onto a thread wheel, and that's basically the only colours that I use on my ornaments, are the ones that I've got in that bag that I pulled out. So there's that one. I'm trying to, when I'm picking which one I'm going to do next, I don't want them to be huge or anything like that, because I'm thinking Christmas tree at the moment. But also, I just want quick stitches. Now, these were some scrap pieces after I'd cut off another design of a piece of fabric that I'd dyed. So it's 14 count, Ada. Now the actual design has 4 red stockings. My daughter wanted multiple colours, so we went with those 4. It's that. And then this one, the yeah, again on another piece. It's a slightly bigger piece, but there we go. And then the last one, oh no, it's not. No, it's not. I've done more. The last one on this piece of fabric anyway. I think this piece of fabric was one that I had a design in sort of more the middle of the fabric. I hadn't thought about it. I thought the design was bigger. And so when I was cutting it out, it's like, oh my gosh, all this extra fabric. There we go. Got used. This one I did yesterday. It's supposed to be a minty green with red and you know, the Christmassy colours. But I wanted to do something different, so I just picked my own colours. I've stitched the beads on. I did change the beads though, because the scarf and everything were a different colour. It's not red beads down the bottom. I put little pinky purpley ones to match the dots. And again, this is all étoile. So I've done all of them are only pretty much mainly stitched in étoile. DMC étoile threads. And then the one I finished today, like a few, you know, earlier this afternoon, was this one. And again, picked my own colours and stuff like that from stash. There's this little centre. His beard is with the whisper thread. I've just got to brush it. Instead of doing just white dots, I've actually stitched on little beads. I learned a new stitch. The Algerian eyelet, is that what that one is? I went and looked it up, and it showed an example where all the things were all the same length. But the thing is, when I had a look at the picture, as you can see, hang on, I'll put up the picture. As you can see, those little stars, the plus part is bigger than the cross part. So I thought, well, I'll just adjust it then. And I did make a slight boo-boo with the pom-pom, but I still got it to work, so that's okay. And I love him, you know, my little Santa gnome. I think he is so cute. And I actually quite enjoyed doing all of this as well. So that's all étoile again. So they are sparkly. This fabric, I'm not sure where this fabric's from. I think it's from Jodie Ree Designs. I'm just not sure what it is. There is another little start I just started. It's a Prairie Schooler Santa. It's the one with the fishing. He's holding it. It's just a half one, just a small one. And so I just started this earlier, but then I lost my stitching mojo and I stopped. So this is all whisper thread, the white. And his suit's going to be étoile. So I'll take that back into my room and it'll probably be finished tomorrow. Right, what are we up to? Oh my god, this is going to be the shortest ever, apart from, I don't know, some extra that I've ever done. I haven't really watched a lot in the way of Flosstube over the last 2 weeks. Incredibly enough, I've been hooked on just, you know, some other programs, you know, like Highlander. I didn't know it was a TV series. I thought it was only a movie. And I thought that's what I was clicking on when I clicked on to play Highlander the movie. And it's like, no, it's a TV series. And so I got hooked on watching that all last week. Binged every single night, Highlander. I have got a lot on my list to watch. I've got them in order, ready for me to push play, which I'll probably do tomorrow. Today, the last couple of days since the Highlander finished, I've been watching Highlander the Raven, and it's only got a couple of episodes left, so I sort of figure I'll watch that tonight when I go back to bed, and then I'll catch up on all the Flosstube. I did notice that Chrissy, Finally a Farm Girl, has a new release, another cat. So guess who's going to be going to get that? And I will probably stitch it up just as fast as I did Clara. So I think the cat's name is Oscar, and he's a ginger cat. So I'll be doing him in memory of Mayday, who is my ginger cat. And the reason he was called Mayday is because we rescued him, and we worked out his birthday must have been around the 1st of May. So we called him Mayday, and he's cool. If I can find a photo on my phone, on my computer, I'll insert that as well. So in regards to any haul this week, the only things I got were some bits and pieces to help with finishing projects. I'm not going to pull them all out. I'll just put a picture up. So I've got some ribbons, and I've got some glue, and some bows and things like that. I don't know how I'm going to use them, but I want to have options available so that as I'm making them, I'm not sort of thinking, oh, I can't do that because I don't have any of this or stuff like that. So, and I also want to try and finish in a few different ways. So I've got a drum project, I've got a banner to make, and a few other ones, some more flat finishes, working with the canvases, and I've got a flower pot that I want to try and figure out a way that I can use, but I don't think it's quite big enough for some of the designs I've done, so I might have to just stitch a little flower so I can make a flower pot one. You know what, I think that's pretty much it. This is going to be the shortest dang video I've ever done. Any plans that I've got? On the 16th, with Nicole from North Island Stitcher, I'm starting the Happy Mood Point SAL that she's running. So it's any of the Happy Mood Point designs. I'm going to be stitching this one, of course, copy. I can't remember which one Nicole said she was doing. And then on the 1st of December, I'm going to be still stitching Christmas ornaments, sort of, but it's the Shabby Winter. And I think that's Cuore de Batticuore. I don't know how to say the name, but it's this one here. But I'm not going to do a big one. I'm just going to be doing a few of the little ones. But that one is getting, that SAL is starting, and it's getting run by Felicia. Oh my god. Felicia from MousePotatoDesigns. I'll put her info below and you can go and check her out. Love watching her. So there's that one on the 1st of December. On the 1st of December, well, in the first week of December, I'm also wanting to start my season ones. So I'll be starting summer, and I'll also be starting January. So summer, Madame Chantilly, and January is the free one, the free year-long one from Snowflower Diaries, Joy of the World, Joy to the World, or something like that. So I'm starting January on the 1st of December. So there will be a few starts at the beginning of December, but I'm hoping more to focus on finishing some of my whips. And making final decisions on which whips are even going to come through next year, or I'm just going to put away for a year. I'm also starting to clear out a lot of my charts and things like that, because I've got way too many, in all honesty. So and a lot of them, when I'm looking at them, it's like they just don't grab me anymore at all. My tastes are really starting to change. I love my Halloween ones still, but even they're getting really selective. And I know that next year there's going to be more designs that I'll want, and I'm just like, you know what, I keep buying new designs, and these ones that if I buy bulk of, you know, like 4 or 5 or 6 at a time, if I don't start all of them, chances are the ones that I don't start will never get stitched, unless it's for a particular thing. Like in this case, Nevermore, the Nevermore challenge. That's why I'm doing Harvest Delivery, because I keep on choosing something over it instead of doing that one. So yeah, so I'm really thinning them out, and just keeping a nice selection. I mean, I've already picked out my charts for the next, at least the next 18 months. So it's not like I'm not going to have enough choice, because there'll be more next year. So, yeah, we'll just sort of see how we go with that. Is anyone doing, is it Black Sampler September? I'm not, but you know, I'm just curious, is anybody actually doing that? My goal, my idea was it would be no new starts November, but that's already gone out the door this week with multiple new starts. My only one that I was allowed to, you know, only things I was allowed to start were supposed to be my Christmas ornaments, but because of the Nevermore challenge and the Happy Mood Point challenge, the no new starts gone out the door. But I'm sticking to just, I was going to say just those ones, but then there's also the Haunted Mansion. I forgot to say who that was by. I'll have to look that up, because I don't think the info is in the is on the printout. Just a second. Oh, here it is. So it's called Haunted House by TinselCrossStitch on Etsy. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. Under 30 minutes. Holy moly, that's a shocker. How did I get through everything? I didn't miss anything. Okay, cool. You never know, the next one might be longer again. See, I'm just looking around, just making sure, because I have the feeling I've forgotten something, but I think I've got everything. I've just been doing some reorganising and stuff like that. So I'll say goodbye for now, and thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for any comments that you leave. I so appreciate them, because I do love reading them. So please, if you want to just leave a comment, I'll be really happy. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to head off now. See you guys in 2 weeks. Hopefully I might have a couple of finishes to show by then, like fully finished objects to show by then. It just depends on what I do next weekend. At work we've got fundraising for our Christmas dinner, and I've made a bunch, about what, 26 pairs of earrings for that so far, but I've run out of hooks. So now I'm thinking I might do a bunch of bag charms, which basically scissor fobs, but they can hook onto bag zippers and stuff like that. So I might make a bunch of those next weekend as well, while I'm waiting for stuff to dry. I don't know. Yeah, so thanks guys very much for stopping by. You know, wherever you are in the world, please take care, keep safe, keep warm if you're hot if you're cool, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Don't forget, march the beat of your own drum, because that's where the magic happens.